Lucy and Goosey.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Near Disney. I am your host tonight in the host chair, Elijah with Florida in Motion Realty, joined by the Dream Team, where we, local real estate experts, get together and let you know about everything that's happening within a 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle. First, before we introduce ourselves, let's cue the theme song.
Very
Beautiful fireworks.
yes.
Awesome. Well, as I said, thanks for tuning in. We always appreciate if you comment as we're getting the show rolling. Let us know who you are and where you're watching from. If you have any questions, this is an interactive program about viewer engagement. We're here to take your questions as well as give you the news. So I'm Elijah with Florida in Motion Realty, and we'll introduce in the next sort of Brady Bunch square next to me. We've got...
Hey everyone, I'm Virginia Carlson, also with Florida in Motion Realty and part of the Dream Team. I am Cinderelli, and we're so happy that everyone has joined us this fine Wednesday evening.
Yes, Wednesday. And down below...
Hi, I am Sue Koptieff, also with Florida in Motion Realty. It is great to be here tonight. Thanks again for joining us.
Yes, and we're really going to live up to our namesake today, Near Disney. We brought a plethora of Disney World themed articles. We're going to load you up with awesome information. We know that some Disney cast members watch us, and we appreciate that because, we've done a lot of coverage about Universal Studios and Epic lately, and all the hype for that. But it's time to ground it back in, let everybody know about how awesome Disney is. And we also got some cool stuff to share about areas to live near Disney. So the first topic I'm going to bring up is that there's actually an exclusive benefit to being an annual pass holder. It's not just, no blackout dates and getting into the park if you go enough times, it pays for itself and all that good stuff. But apparently you get benefits like meeting exclusive characters in the parks, and annual pass holders are going to have a limited time opportunities to meet Dopey, the seven dwarf at Epcot. So he's got a meet and greet. And, there's so many characters in the costumes that they've had over the years. And sometimes it's hard to have everybody get featured in the park every day. Right. Here's Dopey. Here he is. And really
so cute.
It's just every now and again, it actually kind of blows your mind when you see a super not common one, because you just forget, oh my gosh, there's people from Pocahontas, or there's the Aristocats or something, because you just kind of used to, there's Cinderella, there's Tigger, there's Winnie the Pooh. But then it's if you kind of realize you've had an encounter with a rare one, that's cool. So basically there's a rope drop that around Dopey. You go to Epcot. You can if you're annual pass holder, there's a virtual queue as demand necessitates. Basically, this is going to be open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily, and the meet and greet will end on July 31st. So that's fun. So you've got time to do it. It's not like it's a one-day thing, but it is something that they're trying to give pass holders a cool exclusive opportunity to get something for that.
Nice.
And keeping things on Disney, what have you got news to drop, Sue?
So this is the fun Disney Starlight Dream the Night Away. This is a new nighttime parade. Now, Disney hasn't done a nighttime parade. I believe it was 1991 was the last time. Nice. And so they have taken a lot of their ideas just from the electrical light parade. But again, this is going to be done at night. And Elijah, I think if you click on those photos, it'll scroll through and show you. Yeah.
We got
the arrows. There we go. Yeah.
Whoa.
So it says find a sweet spot to watch the Disney Starlight and you can dream the night away. And let's see, we're going to see Star-Kissed Constellation of Disney Dreams. There's going to be favorites from Disney, Pixar, and such as Moana, Peter Pan, Encanto, Frozen, Pinocchio, and more. And it's all going to be happening on the parade route from Frontierland to Main Street, USA. And again, this starts July 20th. And so just keep that in mind, except for July. It starts July 20th. And I don't think they have an end date to it yet, but still, that would be something to make sure that if you're going to be there, you go check that out. I'm really excited for this
That's
one.
cool.
We don't hit Magic Kingdom as much as we do the other the other parks.
Mhm.
But this, to me, this would be like totally worth going for just this, because I imagine it's going to be spectacular.
Nighttime parade.
Cool.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and we're all in this photo actually.
Are we? Oh,
Our-
yes, we
our-
are.
Our viewers may or may not know that on this channel we have Disney monikers. Like, I'm the Prince of Real Estate. Virginia is Cinderelli, and Sue is Princess Aurora. Actually, you can call us that as well when you ring our numbers and get us on the phone. It's fine. That's for our friends. But yeah, this is Princess Aurora here, and there's Cinderelli and the Prince. So had to just
There-
point that out.
There was a
Just-
couple of princes in there. You got
you're just-
double billing.
You're just
right.
embodying all
Do
the
I feel like
princes.
Prince Philip today, or Prince Charming, or Prince Eric?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I got to be chameleon. So
Yeah.
what have you got, Virginia?
Yeah, so this is kind of a cool thing. We'd just like to talk about how Disney reaches beyond the parks for their influence in the state of Florida in particular. Disney has donated $1 million to the Florida Wildlife Corridor. And let's get into that. What the Florida Wildlife Corridor is an interconnected network of natural habitats stretching across about 18 million acres all across Florida. And it's important because it serves a lifeline to wildlife and some endangered species we have here in Florida, such as the black bear, the manatee, and the Florida panther. So the Conservation Fund has donated $1 million to the Corridor Foundation to protect nature across the state of Florida. The donation will fund conservation efforts by training and coordinating local partners to protect key areas of this corridor. And the donation will also fund the expansion of access to these beautiful spaces. So new trailheads and public entry points make nature just more accessible to all Floridians. So we definitely wanted to bring this up because it's important just to see how another way that Disney is doing all it can to help Florida thrive, and not just at the parks and through employment, but also through protecting the beautiful nature in the state.
So see Thumper and Bambi here. I
know. Yeah. And it's just amazing how much wildlife and conservation there is in Florida, that needs to be preserved. So it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. It's really a good thing.
Well, thanks you for sharing that. It's awesome how Disney is committed to keeping us green, keeping Florida beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially the manatee. We can't lose the manatee. That would be horrible. I love the manatee.
No, yeah, my family has a condo in the Treasure Island area by St. Pete and Tampa, and from their balcony they get to see manatees and dolphins swim by sometimes. So that's just cool. To preserve that is so awesome. And that's like their retirement getaway. That's what Florida is all about at that phase of things. So we are going to we're going to jump back into our coverage of Disney. We have some great topics and updates as well for the parks, but we did want to bring things over momentarily into the real estate side of things. I want to talk about a real estate listing opportunity in Story Lake. It's a gated community that is minutes away from Disney World. People talk about just wanting to live close to the parks and also wanting to be safe and protected in a nice association with protection like gated. So we have a single family home that's 4-bedroom, all on one floor, great for accessibility, 3-car garage in Story Lake, and it's a 4562 Tribute Trail. And I would love to just play that for you here, and then talk a little bit more about it afterward. Awesome.
Very nice.
So,
Nice house.
yeah, this is 4562 Tribute Trail in Story Lake, listed at $640,000, over 2,600 square feet. So awesome to get that 3-lane driveway, that 3-car garage, that lovely yard space in the back with a summer kitchen. This just checks a lot of boxes for people. Like a lot of people, when they come to this area of Florida, they really want that all on one floor living and having 4 bedrooms, or they can use one room as an office, or just enjoy that like open floor plan kitchen. Looked beautiful there. And there's just something else I wanted to mention about this listing that makes it unique, is that this has the opportunity to partially use an assumable mortgage here. So basically the 300 the first $350,000 that's remaining on the current loan has an assumable mortgage at 3.25%. And I haven't said those numbers out of my mouth for about like 4 years now in real estate. I kind of really miss it. It's like it's almost like, you know, your mortgage was the same as pie. But now, you know, but now it's pie in the sky.
There you go.
But anyway, so I think that for some people, they would see that as a serious opportunity. So you could, and then, you know, probably have a higher interest rate on the remainder amount for that. But of course, we put you in touch with all kinds of lenders, get you the best rate, the best situation that we can. But just, I love to see, you know, people sometimes ask about assumable loans. They're not so common, but here on this amazing, truly amazing listing, the great location, there is some opportunity there for this. Yes, Kim, thank you for commenting. It is a great ranch style home. When people talk about ranch style, if you want to know that term for like HGTV watchers who have that hip lingo, this is pretty much what that kind of house is. You know, split floor plan, ranch home, you know, that kind of thing. So yes, and Dune Buggy Jim, thank you so much for watching, and say you're watching us from the mall at Millennia. Oh my gosh,
Wow.
you gotta shop. Keep your mind on your shopping. But I appreciate you reaching out, probably getting a bite of Cheesecake Factory at the food court or something. So
That's
great.
dedication. Okay. I'm just saying that's dedication.
Hey, I'll take it. That's awesome. And so, so then Virginia, you did find speaking of the real estate market.
Yes.
Wanted to bring up this article that you were bringing to our attention about tapping into home equity.
Yeah, just, you know, we always kind of want to try to educate all of our viewers and, you know, clients about things that they can do to help with their, refinancing and things with their home, and tapping into your equity is a big part of that. And so what you need to know before you tap into your home's equity is a home equity is great because it helps with reverse mortgages. You can use a HELOC or other financial products that can help owners pay for renovations in the house, pay off debts, even help with college expenses and other expenses that might come up. So tapping into the home equity might be the choice for you. But I wanted to go over what options are out there for the different homeowners. The home equity loan is a lump sum payment with a fixed interest rate, and it must be repaid over a certain amount of years. So all of that is all lined up upfront, how much you're gonna get, what your interest rate is going to be, and how long you have to pay it off. And then you also have something called a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit. And that sets a certain amount that you can borrow and pay back and borrow again if you want. And these have floating interest rates. And right now, those interest rates are hovering around 8%. So it's just something to consider, obviously, with the interest rates that might change if you use a HELOC. There's also a cash out refinance. And that's when you take out a new mortgage that's higher than what is currently owed. And so it provides owner with cash upfront. And the rates for this are hovering around 6% range. So something to think about with that. And then, of course, we have the reverse mortgage, which is actually only available to people 62 years or older. The lender pays the owner an amount every month or one lump sum. And these tend to have a lot of fees associated with them, and your line of credit, you have to have very strong credit to be able to handle the reverse mortgage. So just some things to think about if you're thinking of tapping into your home's equity. There's definitely a lot of potential there, but just understanding all of the different fees and structures, interest rates, all that kind of stuff is important. And we are definitely here to help you answer any and all questions that you might have about your home's equity. So good things to know.
Great stuff, Virginia. Thank you for sharing that. It's good to know that that's available for people to tap into that money, so it's just not it's not out of reach while they're living in their dream house that we let them up with. So we're gonna bring things back to Disney now. If we promised that we had more stuff to talk about, and there really is some fun updates this week with the park. So I will throw it over to Sue to talk about a sort of the scoop on this new development.
So I'm not even sure how I came across this, but I really liked this article. It's the new Maleficent cone. And if you can say, I've worked all day to make sure I could say Maleficent correctly. But the Maleficent cone is at Hollywood Studios, and it's at Scoops Hollywood, which is the ice cream store there on the main drag. And for those who are listening on the podcast, I'm going to try to explain this to you really good so that you can kind of envision it in your mind. So it is a lavender waffle cone, which is dipped in green sugar, and inside is butter pecan ice cream. They top it with red sugar sprinkles and then 2 chocolate horns. And now it's getting, believe it or not, a 6 out of 7. When they ask people to review it, they absolutely say it's not just adorable and refreshing, but it is it looks and it tastes really, really good. So the 2 things that they came back with, which was their main commentary, was eat it fast in the Florida heat. And if you want it to last longer, then get yourself a place in the shade and get a cold drink to enjoy with it. And so I'm a big ice cream freak. So this is probably why it caught my eye. But anyway, and I have conquered the word Maleficent. So I am good. Yeah, doesn't that look? That just looks amazing to me.
And obviously, the trademark here is the chocolate stuff that's shaped like the
chocolate horn.
Yeah,
I would imagine you could. I mean, if you have a nut allergy, I'm sure they would swap your ice cream out for whatever works for you. But
it could be very common. They just want to be thematic with all of the Maleficent colors, purple and the mystical green and the red sprinkles. That's cool. Yep. It tastes as sinful as the character who it's based
on. Named after.
Good thing. We're named after the heroes, not the villains in our stuff. So Sleeping Beauty, easier to say than her villain. So we don't have to worry about being called Maleficent.
That's right.
So anyway, another Disney theme is that a spooky haunted mansion themed restaurant is likely coming to the Disney World's Villain Land. So that's fun. Like we know that the Haunted Mansion is an iconic ride that has just been around forever and is one of the most fun draws for the Magic Kingdom part of the parks. And it's kind of cool to see that they're going to continue to embrace that stuff. I've seen so many of the bumper stickers on cars with the hitchhiking ghosts around here. It's just everyone's in on that meme, and it looks like they want to do even more with the branding by just saying, hey, let's just take the Haunted Mansion and put it into the Villains Land and a special dining experience. So I assume they'll say there's 999 reservations and room for one more or something.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's fun. Yeah, so we'll keep more about that every time we not just official announcements, but even when we just hear whispers about stuff. That's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Other development was this week, Muppet 3D in I think Hollywood Studios had its final performance, which is bittersweet because that's just such a fun way to have a performance from one of the more iconic eras of the Muppets. I think that's like the Brian Henson era, even back from the day that
Yes.
they put that show together. And so it showed its age, but it was just so charming that nobody cared. But even now, they've got different plans for the Muppets. They're not taking the Muppets out of Disney. They're going to repurpose them in the Rock and Roller Coaster, and with, of course, these funky guys who who are a real riot with the Muppets. So I get the feeling it's going to be still very rocking and very funky. And Animal is probably going to be all over that thing, banging around on the drums. So that's cool. For 2026, it'll be here before you know it. Next year, Muppets and Electric Mayhem will be replacing Aerosmith, who, I gotta say, if anyone was gonna do it, I'm glad it's the Muppets, right?
Yeah, right.
I was gonna say, does that hurt, Elijah? Did that hurt, knowing that they're gonna pull
Steven Tyler
out of there?
Rocking. Yeah, that's fun. That's one of the, when people accuse Disney of being a baby theme park with rides for little kids like the Teacups and Dumbo, the Rock and Roller Coaster was the one ride that you could say in your face. So, Universal. That's we still got some thrills here.
That is a great ride. Ride.
It's a small world, right?
Right.
Right.
We'll see what else we got here. Disney Springs had an update that I thought, especially when people are planning for Father's Day, could be useful. So they said, looking for a table at Disney Springs. It's loaded with restaurants just outside of the Orange Garage. So the garages are themed orange, lime, and is it grapefruit now? Is that the new one they had? Citrus themed parking garages.
I think it's grapefruit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but outside the orange one, there's going to be a cast member now with who's going to be at a podium for same day dining, and it's labeled same day dining info to help you provide information on what restaurants have availability, so that you're not just kind of wandering from restaurant to restaurant saying, "Is there a table? Is there a table?" Because it's just you've already been walking around all day. So this is actually a really cool innovation here.
It is.
If you want to check on
great idea.
I love the Boathouse. I love Summer Kitchen, the new restaurant they opened up. So there's lots of cool ones. You can just go in one place, what's available, and maybe hopefully get yourself situated.
Nice.
And lastly, I just part of the news. I guess this just dropped today. Just wanted to bring this up that the Brian Wilson, the lead singer of the Beach Boys, we were just talking about rock and roll with Aerosmith, but there's some Americana rock and roll, surf rock here, paying tribute to the leader of the Beach Boys, 82 years old, and just a legend of American music scene, and just beloved worldwide. Definitely be missed. And wanted to give our respects to there, because so much of that music touches everyone in our lives, especially my own family, where we love to jam out to those classic tunes.
Yeah, for sure.
And with that, Amy Brevard commenting, love. Yes. I don't know if you're saying you love us, or you love the Beach Boys, or you love both.
Or the ice cream.
I think it was the ice cream.
Right. So Amy Brevard is the owner of Scoop Ice Cream, which recently opened in Celebration Island Village. They're going to that's new construction area in Celebration, and it's going to have more phases coming. We'll definitely keep you up to date on that, so you can live close to the super cool homemade ice cream shop Scoop in Celebration, Florida.
Well, and I'm obviously the Maleficent is at Hollywood Studios, but Amy and her husband Chris have so many unique creations in their shop there. Especially that ice cream shake with the scoop on top. They've got a lot of really, really good choices in there. You cannot go wrong. So if you are in Celebration or anywhere close by, you should try them. They're great.
I check it out.
Yeah, and they do themed ice cream sometimes. I saw they did butterbeer ice cream, similar to Harry Potter and Universal. So they have fun with it. Absolutely.
They're very creative, very creative.
So that's what we got for you. A whole ton of Disney updates and some real estate market stuff. That's what we're all about here on the Wednesday show. Appreciate everyone who tuned in. Appreciate anyone who commented. If you have any more questions, phone numbers here. I don't know why it's only mine. I swear I didn't do this to sabotage everybody else on the Dream Team. I'll try to get this resolved. But in the meantime, please call at least me.
Yes,
but
please
if you two we'll get that all settled. But then we'll throw it over to Kim Hawk, the fairy godmother of real estate, to sign us off.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Make sure that you subscribe and like so that we can continue to give you up-to-date information on all things that are going around the 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle, because this is truly a magical place to live.